The late afternoon sun slanted through the sheer linen curtains of the South London terraced house, casting golden rectangles across pale oak floorboards. The air held that particular London stillness, distant traffic hum, the occasional siren, the soft clink of a teaspoon in a mug from the kitchen. Everything felt ordinary, comfortable, safe. Yet in the living room, something corrosive was taking root. Perched on the grey linen sofa, a young woman scrolled through her phone, one foot tucked beneath her. She wore a light blue cotton t-shirt, soft from countless washes, and high-waisted wide-leg jeans in a muted stone color, effortless. Modern, very much of the moment. Her university lecture had just ended, and the silence had barely settled before her 13-year-old sister slumped into the room, school blazer half off, backpack dragging behind her like an anchor. "She wants me to tidy my stuff again," the younger girl grumbled, dropping onto the rug with a theatrical sigh. "It's not even messy. Why does she care?" Their mother, currently chopping onions in the kitchen, had asked only that the dining table be cleared so she could lay out supper. A small request. But the younger girl's tone was edged with something new. Impatience, tinged with mockery. The older sister didn't look up from her screen. A slow smirk played on her lips. "Honestly," she said, voice low and conspiratorial, "just ignore her. She doesn't get how things work now." She finally glanced up, eyes glinting with performative rebellion. "Watch this." She cleared her throat, then mimicked their mum's calm, measured tone. "We keep the house tidy so it feels peaceful for everyone." She rolled her eyes extravagantly, slumping back into the cushions. "Peaceful? It's 2025, not 1955. Just say whatever and walk off. They can't do anything." The younger girl giggled, delighted by the imitation. "That's so her. Right." The older sister tossed her phone aside. "Adults act like manners are magic spells. But really, it's all just noise. Be cool, don't play along." Over the next 2 days, the younger sister tested this new script. At dinner, when asked how her science project was going, she shrugged and said, "Dunno." Boring, without looking up from her plate. When their grandmother called via video chat, she mumbled a distracted hi before turning back to her tablet. And when a kind neighbor offered to carry their groceries, she muttered, "I'm not a kid," under her breath loud enough to be heard. Each time, the older sister gave a subtle nod of approval, a raised eyebrow, a suppressed smile. She didn't see the harm. It was just banter. Just keeping it real. But respect, once chipped away, doesn't always grow back on its own. Their mother had noticed. She'd seen the eye rolls, heard the clipped replies, watched her youngest daughter, who once brought her tea in a chipped World's Best Mum mug on tough days, now treat her like an inconvenience to be tolerated. Then, on a rainy Thursday evening, she heard it. Passing the girls' shared study nook, its walls lined with shelves of books and framed photos from holidays in Cornwall, she paused. Her eldest was leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed, voice hushed but sharp. "Next time, just say whatever and walk away. Watch how fast they give up." The younger girl stood before a mirror, practicing. "Whatever," she said, tossing her hair. "Whatever, whatever, whatever." She grinned. "Does it sound rude enough?" "Yes," came the reply. "Perfect." Their mother's heart didn't race, it sank. That night, After the dishwasher hummed to a stop and the house settled into its evening rhythm, she called both daughters into the living it. The younger one sat on the footstool, fidgeting. The older stood near the bookshelf, posture relaxed, as if this were just another chat. But their mother's voice was quiet, steady, and utterly devoid of playfulness. "You," she said, looking at her eldest, "are her compass, not her echo." She turned to the younger girl. "Go to your room. Wait there." When they were alone, the mother didn't raise her voice. She simply said, "You taught her that disrespect is clever. That kindness is weakness. That's not banter, that's betrayal." The older sister opened her mouth to protest, "It's not that serious," but her mother held up a hand. "In this house, we do not weaponize influence. Especially not against family." She walked to the hallway cupboard and took out a wooden hairbrush, smooth, worn, kept not for hair, but for moments like this. A symbol their mother had used only twice before in their lives, always with gravity, never with rage. "This ends tonight," she said. The hallway light cast a warm pool on the woven jute rug. The older sister stood facing the wall, hands braced against the cool plaster, her light blue t-shirt pulled taut across her shoulders. She didn't cry, didn't argue. There was something in her mother's eyes, not anger, but sorrow, that silenced her. The first swat landed firmly over the wide-leg jeans. 1, for mocking me behind my back. 2, for teaching your sister that cruelty is wit. 3, for forgetting that being older means protection, not permission to poison. Each stroke was measured, deliberate. Not harsh, but unyielding. The wooden hairbrush didn't sting through the denim, but the shame did. With every count, the weight of actions pressed down harder than the paddle ever could. 4, for making her doubt that love deserves respect. 5, for acting like integrity is outdated. 6, for betraying the trust of someone who looks at you like you hung the moon. Silence followed. Her mother placed a hand on her back. "Go to your room. Sit. Think. You'll rejoin us when you understand why this mattered." The older sister walked slowly down the hall, her jeans rustling softly, her light blue t-shirt damp at the collar from nervous sweat. She didn't touch her backside. The pain wasn't physical, it was the echo of her own voice, now ringing hollow in her ears. Her room was quiet except for the distant patter of rain on the window. She sat on the edge of her bed, staring at a photo on her desk, her and her sister at the seaside in Brighton, ages 8 and 15, arms slung around each other, cheeks wind-chapped, grinning with ice cream smeared on their chins. She remembered how, after their dad left, her little sister used to crawl into her bed during thunderstorms, whispering, "You're the bravest person I know." And now, she'd taught her to sneer. Regret didn't arrive in waves, it seeped in, slow and cold, filling every corner of her chest. She hadn't just been sassy. She'd given her sister a blueprint for isolation, for loneliness disguised as confidence. She thought of her mum up at 5 a.m. to make packed lunches, working late to afford dance classes, never missing a parent's evening. And what had she done in return? Made her youngest child believe that woman's love was something to roll your eyes at. Tears finally came not from the paddling, but from the realization, I made her small, just to feel big myself. A week later, Sunday lunch filled the house with the scent of rosemary and roast potatoes. The dining table, now always cleared before meals, was set with mismatched vintage plates, the good cutlery, and a small vase of chrysanthemums from the garden. Halfway through, their mother reached for the water jug. Before she could lift it, the older sister stood, took it gently from her hands, and refilled her glass. "You've done enough cooking," she said softly. Their mother met her eyes. Nodded. Later, the younger girl lingered in the kitchen, hovering near her sister as she washed up. "Can you help me with my English essay?" she asked, voice small. "It's on Pride and Prejudice. You always understood the old books." The older sister dried her hands, pulled out a chair. "Of course." As they read passages aloud together, the younger girl didn't mimic or mock. She listened, asked questions, trusted. That night, before bed, the older sister folded her light blue t-shirt and wide-leg jeans neatly over her chair, not carelessly, but with intention. These clothes had witnessed her worst moment. Now, they would witness her better ones. She knocked on her sister's door. "Fancy a cuppa?" They sat on the floor of the conservatory, mugs of PG Tips steaming between them, watching the streetlights flicker on outside. No sarcasm. No performance. Just two sisters, rebuilding what had been broken, one quiet, respectful word at a time. And in that ordinary London house, filled with the hum of the fridge and the rustle of turning pages, something precious returned, not just peace, but the kind of respect that grows from love, not fear. For the first time in weeks, the older sister felt worthy of being looked up to. And this time, she wouldn't look away.